And your name?
John Sykes.
John Sykes.
Yes, sir.
I'm Bill Garner. Glad to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
And you are doing blacksmith work today.
Yes, sir, I am.
How long have you been doing this?
About 50 years. And it's just a hobby.
Yeah.
There's not really a market for it around that you can make a living at it. But I enjoy doing it, and we'll keep on doing it.
Yeah, I was next door here. I was talking to him. He said you got him started in it.
Yeah, he come to the shop one day and said, I'd like to get interested in blacksmithing. And I talked to him a little bit, and I sent him home with a forge and an anvil. And his wife has appreciated it ever since, because he spends more time in the shop than he does in the house. So she thanks me every time she sees me.
Now, what are you making right there?
I'm making a steak turner right now. I've already made one end of it, and I'm making the other, making the handle end now. And let me get it hot again, and I'll tell you what I'm doing and how I'm doing it.
Are you looking for the color of it?
Yes,
sort
sir.
of the temperature?
It gets about the same color as the fire, as what the fire is down there.
Okay.
And then you know it's hot enough to work with. And once it cools off a little bit, you really need to stop working with it, because it's not as movable. Now what I'm gonna do is I have bent a circle on that very end of it, and when I pull it out of the fire, I'm gonna cool that off, because I'm gonna hit it on that end. I don't want to collapse that circle. So yeah, I'm gonna just cool that end right there off, and then see, it's getting a little cold to work with now, so let's heat it up again.
It's a lost craft, isn't it?
Not really. You'd be surprised how many people are doing it.
Is there?
But it's more of a hobby.
Yeah.
I have a meeting about once a year at my house, and I'll have 25, 30 people come to it.
Wow.
Not all of them are blacksmiths. I encourage them to find somebody, a young guy, old guy, whatever, that may be interested in it, and bring them. Let's teach them something. Last time we had one, we had two boys about 12 years old. Excuse me. And you know these old triangular dinner bells?
Mm-hmm.
They made them. We showed them how to make them. They made them. They made the hook like this that you hang it on, and also the handle that you ring it with. And they were tickled to death when they left. I'm gonna finish making this circle now.
And if they'll continue with it, they can stay out of trouble, can't they?
Probably will. And be broke to most of their life, because
Yeah.
trying to buy anvils and stuff like that, you know. And what I'm trying to do is get a circle here.
What does an anvil like that cost now if you were to buy one?
They run. Hold on just one second. Most of you anvils now are $4, $5, $6 a pound.
A pound?
Yeah. And that anvil right there, that's about 125 pounds. So you're talking $500. And it's getting so you can almost buy a new one for just a little bit more than you can buy a used one for. And part of that is forged in fire. A lot of people have got interest in blacksmithing, and they have, you know, bought them up. So that's some of the things.
Now, what about the price of your steel now?
Steel has gone up. Some are at 50%. A lot of the steel I use out here is really cut off from my real job. I make handrails, wrought iron handrails for commercial and residential, new property and stuff. And a lot of this stuff is cut off from that. I was going to throw away or whatever.
Recycle as much as you can.
Yes, sir. The handle is just a little bit offset from what I want it to be. So I'm just going to turn it just a little bit like that. Now when you're cooking steaks on the grill tonight, get ready to turn it, just reach over and grab it like that.
Turn it right over.
Turn it right over.
You can make just about anything, can't you?
You can make a lot of your own too. You know, like your tongs. You can make these. And whenever you make them, this one and this one is actually the same piece. They just turn over. But that's the way you make them. And I burn coal, and that's kind of really not what I burn, but that's what you start out with, coal. What you see smoking now is coal. And once you burn the coal and you burn the impurities out of it, you get something called coke. That's coke right there. That's almost pure carbon.
And they use that in steel making.
They use that in steel making, and that's the reason it gets hotter than coal does, and it burns cleaner.
Right.
And see what you see over here burning, that's coal. This right here is actually hotter, and it's coke.
Now, do you find it hard to find coal now, or?
I've got probably 4 55-gallon barrels full of coal that I have bought. A little bit here, a little bit there, you know. There used to be a guy in Wilson that bought a truckload of it, and he sold it. He was a blacksmith. He sold it by the 100 pounds. And I think he's just about out now. And I don't know that he'll buy any more, but I've got enough to last me the rest of my life. I'll probably burn 2-gallon bucket full a day. You know, that's about it. I don't use a whole lot of coal. But, and this forge right here, I made it.
You did.
Yeah.
Now, once you get through for the day, you can use this again.
I use the coke again.
The coke again.
Yeah. I use the coke till it's completely gone. And right now, you dig down in that fire far enough, you'll find some impurities down there where the coal has burned and the impurities get at the bottom of the fire. And that a lot of times keeps you from having a real hot fire. And
now that's blowing air into it.
That's blowing air into it coming up from the bottom. And you can get a piece, I can melt a piece of 1/2-inch steel in it. Just, you know, 1800 degrees is not really a problem. If you've got a clean fire, you know, no impurities in it and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to go next door and talk to him. And your name?
Phil Briggs.
Phil Briggs. Bill Garner.
Okay.
Now, I noticed you've got a separate setup here in Forge than he does. And what's the difference?
It's coal-fired, this is propane. But it's a lot more neighborly. And it's not as much work keeping a fire going. I'm messing with a railroad spike that probably end up being a blade.
Okay.
Started out and upset and made this flat. Because at the point I didn't need the point on it. And I came back and I started making this longer and narrower for the handle. And now I'm starting to work on shaping the blade.
Okay.
Trying to work it out. This will be the edge, this will be the back. I started doing this when I retired about 5 years ago. Do it part-time, messing around, not every day.
And you got your start from him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, went out to his house, went home with a forge and an anvil. Which that was unexpected. That got me going. So.
Where'd you retire from?
MBM or McLean, but I like fiddling around with it, and trying different things. Well, if you ever get frustrated doing this, I'll tell you, you can work out your frustrations pretty quick.
You put it back in the fire, bring it back out, and beat it out.
People are saying, I do that, or I know somebody that does, all over this area.
It's just that you don't see the majority of them unless it's something like this.
Yeah. I'll go to the state fair.
Yeah.
And the display they have set up there is really good.
Well, it's good to see these old crafts keep going.
Yeah, and there's a lot of younger people getting interested in it.
And you need that.
I think the TV show Forged in Fire, I think has made a lot of younger people interested in it and blade making and stuff. So if you're going to blade make, you need the blacksmith. So.
Well, it's good to talk to you. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, good to talk to you.
It's good to find out something about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good day now.
You too.